ghost frequency.
Born into belief created by haunted strings. Are you a good person? Think about it. Really? Are you kind? Do you love your family? Do you try to do right by the people around you? Do you believe in something bigger than yourself? Most of you said yes. Of course you did, and I believe you. Now here's the question that should keep you up at night. If you had been born 5,000 miles away, would you still be going to the same church? Would you still be reading the same holy book? Would you still be praying to the same God? No, you wouldn't. And that's not an insult. That's not an attack on your faith. That is just the truth. A baby born in Riyadh becomes Muslim. A baby born in Mumbai likely becomes Hindu. A baby in rural Mississippi, probably Baptist. A baby in rural Ireland, Catholic before they can walk. You didn't choose your religion. Your zip code chose it for you. So before we talk about who's right and who's wrong, let's talk about how we all ended up here. There are roughly 4,200 religions on this planet, 4,200 distinct systems of belief, ritual, and meaning. And almost every single human being walking the earth today practices the one that was handed to them by their parents, their community, their culture, before they ever had the ability to question it. Scholars call it the geographic distribution of faith, but let's call it what it is, spiritual inheritance, like a last name, like an accent. You absorb it before you're old enough to spell it. The ancient Sumerians prayed to Enlil. The Greeks prayed to Zeus. The Romans took the Greeks' gods, renamed them, and called it original. The Aztecs built pyramids to the sun. Every single civilization has looked up at the same sky, felt the same awe, the same terror, the same longing, and tried to make sense of it. That's not division. That's the most human thing there is. Every culture on earth is reaching toward the same mystery. They just speak different languages getting there. So why has that search become the single greatest source of war, persecution, and bloodshed in human history? Because somebody found a way to make it profitable. Let me be crystal clear about something. I'm not attacking spiritual experience. I'm not mocking prayer or faith or the very real comfort that belief brings to billions of people. That is sacred. That belongs to you. What I am attacking, without apology, is the institution, the machine, the organized, hierarchical, tax-exempt, real estate-owning, political power-wielding business of religion. The Catholic Church alone holds an estimated $30 billion in U.S. real estate. Megachurches rake in billions tax-free. Televangelists fly private jets while their congregations skip meals. This is not spirituality. This is wealth extraction with a steeple on top. Think about how the system works. You take a population of working people, people who are exhausted, scared, searching for meaning. You give them community, comfort, belonging. All real, all valid. And then, quietly, consistently, you ask them to tithe, to donate, to fund the institution, and you tell them, God is watching. Meanwhile, organized religion has historically been the most effective tool the ruling class has ever had for keeping people exactly where they are. Suffer now, reward later. Don't question authority. It's God's authority. The poor will inherit the earth, but not until they're dead. Accept your station. Be humble. Obey. This was not an accident. When Constantine made Christianity the official religion of Rome in 313 AD, it wasn't a spiritual awakening. It was a political move. Religion and empire have been in bed together ever since. The Crusades weren't holy. They were a land grab. The colonization of the Americas wasn't missionary work. It was genocide with a cross held in front of it. The elites didn't create religion, but they learned very quickly how to weaponize it, how to use your faith to fund their power, how to use your God to justify their wars, how to use your fear of the divine to make you afraid of each other. Here's the honest truth about religious hatred. Most of it isn't rooted in evil. It's rooted in ignorance. And ignorance isn't stupidity. It's just not knowing. The Christian in rural Georgia who fears Islam has probably never sat across the table from a Muslim family. They've never seen a mother pack her kids' lunches and say, Bismillah, in the name of God, the same way a Christian mom might say grace. They've never seen the same love, the same warmth, wearing a different name. The Muslim who distrusts the West has often seen nothing but bombs and occupation dressed up as liberation. Can you blame them for the association? The Hindu, the Sikh, the Jew, the Buddhist, the pagan, every tradition has been misrepresented by the worst examples of its fringe, amplified by media, manipulated by politicians who need an enemy to point at so you don't look at them. Here's what every major spiritual tradition actually teaches at its core. Be kind. Reduce suffering. Care for the poor. Live with humility. Seek truth. That's it. Every single one. Jesus said it. Muhammad said it. The Buddha said it. Moses said it. Krishna said it. The details vary. The geography varies. The language varies. The soul of it is the same. And the powerful know that, which is exactly why they work so hard to keep you focused on the differences. Because the moment you see yourself in a stranger, the moment you realize that the person across the line, across the border, across the aisle, is just another human being who got born into a different set of answers to the same questions you have, they lose their grip on you. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine for 1 second, just one, that the working class of this country and this world stopped fighting each other over religion, over race, over culture, and looked up, together, at the same 1% that owns more wealth than the bottom 50% of humanity combined. What happens then? What happens when the Black Baptist and the white evangelical and the Latino Catholic and the Arab Muslim and the secular atheist all realize they share the same landlord, the same hospital bills, the same wage stagnation, the same rigged system, and that system has been deliberately using their spiritual differences as a firewall between them? The greatest trick the ruling class ever pulled wasn't convincing the world the devil doesn't exist. It was convincing the working class that their enemy prays in a different language. Your spirituality, whatever it is yours. It's real. It's valid. Guard it. Let it make you a better person. Let it give you strength. But do not let them rent it from you. Do not let them turn your search for God into a justification for someone else's war. Do not let them use the most intimate, powerful, personal thing about you, your relationship to the divine, as a tool to keep you divided, distracted, and broke. We were all born somewhere. We were all handed a map of the universe by the people who raised us. None of us chose it. All of us are trying to find our way. Maybe, just maybe, that's the most sacred thing we have in common. I'm Ghost, and this has been Born into Belief, a Haunted Strings production. If this episode made you think, or made you uncomfortable, that's exactly what it was supposed to do. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a review. And remember, the most radical thing you can do in a world designed to divide you is understand someone you were told to fear. We'll be back next week. Until then, question everything, especially the things you were never supposed to question. Thanks for listening.